Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Listen, this is not a show that I planned on reviewing, and this is not really a review, or it might be. It's sort of like a recap. It's not a whole lot of detail. Well, then again, you know I can't do anything without a whole lot of detail. Anywho, child, let's just jump right into Traitors Season 2. I have been watching. I watched the entire thing so far. I cannot wait for tonight. I know I have other reviews to do, but let's just jump right into it. Now, Traitors is a show kind of like a video game that my son plays. There's a video game that my son plays. It's called Among Us. You have to figure out who the imposter is. So there are a group of people and they do these tasks. And then at the end of it, you have to figure out which one is an imposter and which one is just like a regular person or whatever, I guess. That's sort of like the premise of Traitors. So Traitors have faithfuls, and that's just the regular people in the field. And then you have the traitors. So I'm going to introduce y'all to the Traitors real quick in case you have not seen this season. And let's get into who the cast is. First up, we have Janelle from Big Brother. We have Parvati from Survivor. Sandra from Survivor. Trishelle from The Challenge. Honey, shout out to The Challenge. Let me tell you something. When I saw Trishelle, it really took me back. If anybody knows me, and I know I've told y'all several times, Real World was my Real World and Road Rules. You could not get me away from that TV. Matter of fact, I don't even think I turned my TV off of MTV in the 90s and the early 2000s. Because, I mean, it was just everything. Outside of Trishelle, we have Peppermint from RuPaul's Drag Race. We have Tamra from The Real Housewives of OC. Phaedra High Class Parks from The Real Housewives of Atlanta / Married to Medicine. We have Larsa from The Real Housewives of Miami. Sheree Joggers from The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Honey, Sheree just happy to be in the building, child. She don't even know what's going on. Y'all hear me? We have MJ from Shaws of Sunset. I love me some MJ. We have Ekin-Su from Love Island, UK. Outside of them, we also have some of the men. Okay, now let's get into these men, honey. We have Dan from Big Brother. Johnny Bananas from The Challenge. I love Johnny Bananas and CT. I'm telling y'all, I used to watch The Challenge faithfully. That was my stuff. Okay, that was my zhuzh. So we have Johnny Bananas from The Challenge. We have CT from The Challenge. Bergie from Love Island, USA. Peter from The Bachelor. Maxim from Dancing with the Stars. Marcus, who is Michael Jordan's son. He and Larsa are a couple. We have Kevin from Bling Empire. Deontay, who is a boxer. And John, a British politician. So now that we got all the cast of characters out the way, child, let's jump right into it. So episode 1, everything seemed normal, right? So Alan, who is the host, he went around the table to tap the traitors. Everybody was blindfolded, I believe. I think they were blindfolded, yeah. And he went around and he tapped Phaedra and he tapped Dan. Now, he only tapped 2 traitors right off the bat. Well, as soon as they pulled the blindfolds off, Larsa was like, wait a minute. I think he tapped Parvati. And she was like, girl, no, he didn't. I'm not a traitor. Now everybody's looking around trying to figure out who are the traitors, because he was walking really silently, so nobody could really tell who it was. After he chose Phaedra and Dan, that night they meet. Alan tells them at the round table, I just want you all to know that this is not the only set of traitors. There will be another person added to the fold. That night, Phaedra and Dan revealed themselves to each other and realized that they were now the traitors. They decided to recruit somebody. Now, me personally, I think they should have recruited Sandra. If I would have recruited anybody, it would have been her. Because it's like she's just flying under the radar and not really saying much. But she poses a threat. So I would have recruited her. But then again, I think she may have been an easy target, and people probably would have been like, okay, if it's anybody, it's Sandra. They ended up choosing Parvati. I can't stand her. It's just something about Parvati I do not like, okay? I do not like Parvati, and I do not like Janelle. So they recruited Parvati, and they had to make their first kill. The first person that they eliminated was Johnny Bananas. Now, mind you, they had already had a task that they had to complete. They got into the water and they had to put together this puzzle. But you had to go out into the field in order to get the clue to see exactly what you were supposed to be putting together. They were searching and searching and searching and searching, honey. Wasn't nobody doing nothing. And guess who found the bag with the clue in it? Sheree. I said, baby, not Sheree actually doing some work. Okay, joggers. So Sheree finds the clue. They put some money in the bank. They ended up eliminating Johnny Bananas. He was the first person to go. And when I tell you I was pissed, because originally upon looking at it, I was like, Bergie should have been the first person to go. But that's too obvious. So I'm glad that they went with Johnny Bananas after the dust settled. I was like, okay, Johnny Bananas is the right choice. Moving on into episode 2, now Parvati is a part of the fold. She does not know who the other traitors are because she was given a note to let her know that she is now a traitor. So they go ahead and they complete the next mission and they go to the round table. But before they go to the round table, Trishelle makes a joke to Peppermint and she says, well, if I get killed tonight, then I know who did it. And she kind of laughed. Now, Peppermint is just sitting there looking like, okay, she's not really saying anything. But Trishelle made it a big deal. And that's when she pissed me off. Because, baby, don't go for this black lady. Don't do that. Don't do that. Why are you going for Peppermint? So she went and told everybody that Peppermint was acting suspicious and it makes her think that Peppermint is a traitor. So they go to the round table to vote. When they get to the round table to vote, Deontay was like, tell me a little bit more about what went on with you and Trishelle, Peppermint. And she was like, what went on? So he said, well, I don't know. You tell me, because Trishelle said y'all got into it. She ends up saying the same exact thing that made absolutely no damn sense. From there, everybody felt like Peppermint was a traitor because they had a side conversation with her. And she was like, if I were a traitor, if I'm a faithful, but if I were, after she said that, she sealed her own fate. Because when they went back to that round table, they made sure to eliminate Peppermint. So, baby, Peppermint sashayed up there, turned around in a circle, and she was like, I'm a faithful, dummies. Okay? And so that's that on that. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, what? Oh, goodness. So now we got 2 faithfuls out, Johnny Bananas and Peppermint. 2 down, more to go. Peppermint is eliminated, and now everybody's just standing around, talking. And so in the library, you have Marcus and a few other guys and Dan. Marcus starts to say that Dan is suspiciously quiet. Like, why are you always so quiet? He was starting to gain on him, right? Now, mind you, everybody thought that he and Larsa had an advantage because the 2 of them were a couple. So that alone was like, okay, one of y'all got to go. I don't know if you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. So that night, the traitors meet. Parvati is introduced to Phaedra and Dan, and she could not believe. I think she could believe Dan, but she couldn't believe Phaedra. She was like, girl, you're a traitor? So they're all sitting there looking, and whatnot. So, baby, after that, they ended up eliminating Marcus because Marcus was gaining on them. So he had to go. Marcus, faithful no more. Honey, he gone. So Larsa falling out, honey, like she at his funeral. Somebody, oh my God. Everybody's surrounding her and trying to pick her up and giving her one of them fans. I'm like, baby, she's going to be fine. Okay. Just win the money for the both of y'all. So after that, she said, I'm making it my mission to find out who this traitor is because you took my boo from this game. So, baby, it was on. Larsa went to sniffing around. And so she was kind of gaining on Dan, too. She had gotten MJ on board. She was like, you know what? Something just ain't right. Something just ain't right. One of them got to go. They get to their task. They do it. They get to the round table. When they get to the round table, they started talking like Kevin was a traitor. Now, mind you, for some reason, Kevin pisses Tamara off. I don't know what it is. She said she don't like the way he chew or something, child. She don't like the way he look. Kevin is like, I'm not a traitor. I just like to eat. So I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm not a traitor. So he tried to defend himself. They're like, no, you have to be a traitor. I know it's you. He's like, it's not me. So then they switched their sights to Maxim. Maxim not bothering nobody. But again, Deontay thinks that Maxim is acting funny. So it's got to be him. So everybody votes at the round table. They vote and then Maxim is eliminated. Maxim goes up to the front and tells them, I am a faithful. Why did y'all eliminate me? Say what now? Deontay just couldn't believe it. It started to weigh on his mental. So he crying like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I eliminated my friend because he considered Maxim to be a friend. So he was like, I cannot do this. I just can't do it. He was crying. Tears were streaming down his face. Phaedra trying to make sure he okay. And every time Phaedra sees somebody cry, she cry. And it was just a mess. So after that, the next morning came around. Everybody's like, where's Deontay? Alan ends up telling them that Deontay just could not be a part of the situation. They end up eliminating Tamara, which I thought was a pretty smart move because Tamara wasn't really bringing nothing. I would have eliminated her episode 1 because she didn't even participate in the very first exercise. So for me, I felt like she should have been eliminated. I mean, there really was nothing for her to really do. They ended up eliminating Tamara. We go into episode 4, and now Parvati wants to get to the round table and say that we need to break up the housewives. So Phaedra was like, don't do the housewives thing. Don't bring that over here. How about that? Talking about some housewives. So baby, Phaedra was pissed. And when Phaedra get to crooking that mouth up, she mad. So baby, she was pissed. So they ended up. So that night, the traitors meet up, right? And Phaedra let Parvati know, don't play with me, Parvati. Okay? What you did was not cool. Don't bring up no housewives. And why would you do that knowing that I'm a traitor right along with you? Now here go Dan acting confused. What happened? What was going on? Now that's when they started to piss me off because I felt like Parvati and Dan were against Phaedra. Now Phaedra got her flaws, honey. Don't come here with that. And y'all know I'm rooting for my housewives. Ex-housewives, current housewives, married to medical. I'm rooting for them. So don't come over here with that, Parvati. And so she ended up reading her rights, honey. Read her for filth. Giving very much Phaedra is back. After she get through reading Parvati, they're like, okay, well, we need to eliminate someone. So they give them this letter. And the letter says, tonight, you have to eliminate someone in plain sight. So they have to eliminate someone that night in plain sight. So they're all like, what? What is going on? How are we supposed to do that? They're supposed to take this chalice. And now, mind you, it was rusty. It was a rusty cup. And they had to get someone to drink this poison. Now, Dan and Parvati were whispering to each other and they wanted to get rid of Sheree. Now, unbeknownst to Sheree, the only reason why she was saved is because she was in the middle of a big group. They had already come up with who they wanted to eliminate. And Phaedra was like, listen, I'm hands off. I done already got y'all together. So y'all know not to play with me. Now, go ahead and do what they told y'all to do. Parvati is like, I got this. I can do this. So she takes the chalice into a group of women that are completely surrounded by each other. She was like, no, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it with Sheree because Sheree is around too many people. Phaedra was getting nervous because she's like, my loyalty is to the housewives, especially Sheree. So I cannot let Sheree go down like that. Phaedra started to feel a little bit more at ease when Parvati went ahead and went into another room. Parvati goes into the room and she's looking around for anybody at this point. Like anybody can get it. This is exactly why I don't drink after people. This right here. First of all, I don't want your nasty ass germs. Number 2, people will put something in your drink, child. That can't be trusted. So she goes into the next room and she sees MJ. She was like, nah, MJ is not going to drink out of a rusty cup. So who can I get to drink out of this cup? She goes over and she starts talking. And I thought she was going to give it to Trishelle, but she didn't. She ends up giving it to Ekin-Su. So Ekin-Su takes a drink. Now, mind you, at the same time, Ekin-Su is like, oh, Parvati, I love you. And I just hope that, you don't ever get eliminated. We're going to figure out who these traitors are. The whole time she's drinking the poison. So everybody goes to bed, right? The next morning at breakfast, Dan and Phaedra do not know who Parvati eliminated. But Parvati knows. So she's thinking, okay, Ekin-Su is not about to walk through this door. Y'all, they sitting at breakfast and in walks Ekin-Su. Everybody's like, what? So Alan comes in and who's the host? Alan comes in and he says, today, one of you will be walking to your own death. So she's on her way to her own funeral. Okay, so as they're walking, they're getting little clues. And the clue is about somebody that's walking with them in the group. If it's you, then you get on the carriage ride, right? Because there's a horse and carriage that's pulling. Everybody's name started to come out and the numbers are dwindling. So at the end of it, it was MJ, Ekin-Su, and Parvati. Now they have these big caskets in the ground. That's not something I'm playing with. I don't care what's going down. I am not about to play with you with no damn casket. So the next thing they did was they started to name all these things, and they asked the people to vote for who they think is going to be the one to die. So all three of the ladies are laying in their caskets, and they give these people roses. All the faithful / traitors, they give them roses. They have to lay a rose down on the person that they think is eliminated. Everybody laid their roses on MJ. Every single person. Now, Phaedra and Dan were like, let's just go with the fold, because if we go against it, then people gonna start looking at us funny. So they went ahead and went with Ekin-Su. And Ekin-Su was eliminated. Baby, that was the most dramatic death I ever seen. So they end up eliminating Ekin-Su. They go on about their business, and then that night they have a round table. At the round table, Larsa brings up Dan's name again. So they're going back and forth and back. They start to vote. When they voted, they end up eliminating Larsa. And Larsa was telling them, y'all should have listened to me, because half of them chose Dan and half of them chose Kevin, I believe. So they were close to a traitor, but instead of listening to Larsa, they went another way. Of course, Sheree just sitting there, joggers, honey. She don't know where she at. They end up eliminating Larsa. After they eliminate Larsa, now it's like, oh, wow, what's really going on? Okay, so Larsa ends up getting eliminated. They go into this other task that they have to do the next day. The groups are divided. You have people outside, people inside. The people outside have to do these bird calls, and the people inside have to match the bird's voice to that, like the little call that they did. Peter just comes out of nowhere, okay? Peter just comes out of nowhere and says, we're going to do this. We're not going to tell them who has a shield, because the people on the outside, they were eligible to get a shield. And a shield is something that will protect you from being eliminated or being killed. So Peter says, I'm going to plant a seed. I'm going to tell them that me and Janelle got the shield. And the reason why I'm going to tell them this is because I have an idea of who I think the traitors are. CT, Parvati, and Dan. So he dropped that little nugget. Now, mind you, he and Janelle did not have the shield. Trishelle and Bergie had the shield. So that night, the traitors meet. Parvati says, I don't think we should eliminate Bergie. I really feel like Peter is trying to play us. Because why would you reveal to us that you have a shield and you didn't reveal it to anybody else? Something is just not right. Here's Dan thinking he's smarter than everybody in the room. He's like, no, Peter's not that smart. He's the bachelor. He's not that smart. He's like, he gives out roses. Like, no, he's not that bright. He should have listened to Parvati. Phaedra is still coasting, because she was like, you know what? When this ship sinks, you two will be the first people that go down. So they end up eliminating Bergie. Mind you, there's no way for Bergie to be eliminated, because he actually does have a shield, and Dan should have listened to Parvati, but he want to run the game. So they ended up eliminating Bergie. Now they go on about their business. They wake up the next day, they're thinking it's just a regular elimination, until Bergie walked through that door. Well, baby, what'd he do that for? Peter said, got him. Now he knows who it could potentially be. So he's looking at the body language of everybody when Bergie walked through the door. Now, CT, he didn't flinch. CT's a faithful, so he ain't gonna do much. He didn't flinch. But Dan and Parvati, they looked nervous. Now, for some reason, Peter cannot stand Parvati. Peter, I'm right there with you. He cannot stand Parvati. So he was really gunning for her. Everything that he was doing and all the questions that he was asking, they were all directed at Parvati, and she started to get super nervous. Now, I thought she was going to throw Dan under the bus. I really did. But she didn't do it. She didn't do it. But baby, y'all ain't going to believe what happened when they got to that round table. So they get to the round table, right? And Dan, instead of going against Parvati, which would have been the obvious choice, because Peter thinks that it's either you, Parvati, or CT. So to save yourself, Dan, common sense would say, let me go against Parvati, because then I can get her out of here and I'm good. I fly under the radar. Dan sits back at the round table and he says, I didn't want to say anything, but I've been watching this person since episode 1. The first night we got here, I have been watching this person. So everybody's looking around like, Who is that? Because mind you, Dan never speaks. That was one of the issues that they had with him. He never freaking speaks. He never says anything, so they don't know what he's thinking. Everybody thinks he's a threat because he won Big Brother twice. So they know he's a gamer. They know he knows how to play these games. So everybody's like, okay, he said he's been looking at this person. So if he's been looking at him, then it's bound to be somebody that could potentially be a traitor. Y'all, he said Phaedra Parks. Baby, when he said Phaedra, let me let y'all hear what Phaedra said to him. Because when he said Phaedra, baby, he told his draws with her. Because how dare you throw me under the bus? Y'all listen to this.
So you've been watching me from day one?
Yeah. No one's ever written your name down. Why do you think that is?
No one's ever written a lot of people's name down. That doesn't mean they're a traitor.
Voting patterns. Can you explain the Ek and Sue vote?
I voted for Ekin-Su because of the issue she had with Janelle, because she changed her story. Everybody knows that.
And then what about the breakfast murder reactions? Every time.
What breakfast murder reactions?
The Bergie.
Not my Burgalicious was problematic for you.
The Marcus.
Consoling
Marcus?
Larsa.
Yeah.
Was
Because I'm
problematic
consoling
for you.
Larsa?
Yeah.
A fellow housewife? What was I supposed to do?
That her boyfriend got sent home?
These are.
No, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the logic behind that?
The logic behind me is that it's always like a little bit extra. Like.
Have you seen her?
That's true.
I'm very extra,
okay.
baby. I do too much because you do too little. But tonight you're doing way too much because you know you're getting ready to get banished. So you're trying to put the heat on me, which is a crock of BS. You're Big Brother winner not once, but twice.
Almost twice.
Well, either way, you have knowledge of this game. So if there was really a mastermind, it sure wouldn't be a dolled up housewife, baby. That would not be it. Let's not forget, Burgalicious voted for you last night. And who got the murder one? Burgalicious. Why? Because Dan thought that he was able to be murdered. Is that not correct?
Don't you think it's a little obvious, though?
Okay, but why would I want him out? I don't have any problem with
I didn't
Bergie.
say you wanted him out.
You're saying I'm the killer.
I think if Phaedra was thinking long game, she would keep me around because I trust her.
Yeah.
Okay,
But no one trusts you, darling.
Baby. Dan, you forgot that Phaedra is notorious for being able to fly under the radar, honey. Phaedra is the traitor of all traitors. This is the perfect show, perfect formula for Phaedra high-class Parks. And you also forgot you were dealing with an attorney and a black woman, and we don't play that. Baby, don't come for her unless she sent for you. Dan did not think Phaedra had it in her. He underestimated her. He had not done his homework. He didn't research exactly who she was. He came in thinking she was some bimbo airhead housewife, and she got him together. Gathered him up real good. And he was not expecting Kate to come in with the assist. Now, if y'all wondering, where the hell Kate come from? Kate was added after Janelle left. And, you know, they had to make the numbers because Deontay, child, he went on off into the sunset when Maxim was eliminated. After that little display, they had to vote. So everybody's voting. Dan. Dan gets up there and says, I'm a traitor. When I tell y'all, everybody's mouth was wide open. Now, first of all, they were excited as hell because Peter had cracked the case and Phaedra had cracked his face and he ain't had no place coming for her. Okay? Bars. Bars. And tonight is episode 7. When I tell y'all, this is one of the best TV shows on reality TV right now. If you do not have Peacock, baby, I don't know if you need to borrow somebody's login. I don't know exactly what you need to do. I don't know if it's a site you can go on to watch it, But baby, this is good to me. Now, this is one of those shows that I planned on just watching and not reviewing. And I really don't plan on reviewing it, but I had to give y'all my thoughts. So to sum this thing up, because it's getting a little long, the show is really good. It's comprised of some of your favorite reality stars. They come together in a house to win $250,000. He chooses 2 traitors. One is now, recruited to be a traitor as well. Oh, and I forgot. Peter, after this elimination and Dan was sent home as a traitor, Alan told them that they now had to recruit 1 more traitor because it has to be 3 of them. So they get in there and they're thinking about who they can recruit. They put Sandra's name up. They're like, I don't know. They end up trying to recruit Peter because Peter is the one that sniffed out Dan, and Poverty knows she's next. So she's like, listen, I got to get Peter on my side, because if not, I'm going to the house. They're going to he has to either accept, or I don't know if he's going to be killed or not, baby, but we shall see tonight. Anywho, y'all comment down below. Have you watched Traitors? It is so good, y'all. It is good. It is must see TV. If you like suspense, if you like murder mysteries, if you like critical thinking, if you like shows that leave you wanting more and you are on the edge of your seat, you must watch Traitors. It is so good. It is so freaking good. That's it, y'all. That's all I got. I don't got no more for you. I just wanted to come and drop this off real quick. I need to get to my other reviews, but those will probably come out tomorrow because I got to get ready for the Traitors, child. Y'all comment down below. Also, we're going to have a live next week so that we can discuss Traitors because I need some people to talk to about it. So comment and I'm going to comment back. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.